Hello everyone, this is our operating system project. Today we're looking forward to talk about interrupts and its types. Are you ready to know with us? An interrupt is a signal from a device attached to a computer or from a program within the computer that requires the operating system to stop and figure out what to do next. So, processor needs to stop what it's doing and do something else instead. For example, the primary memory to secondary storage buffer is empty and needs refilling so that the data transfer between both of them continue. The interrupt makes the CPU to stop its current activity and all of the processes to stop until the interrupt handler handle the interrupt. Let's know why does the interrupt happen and what are the causes to make the CPU stop its activity like that. An interrupt is an event external to CPU that causes a change in program control flow. Interrupts are requested by external devices to notify the operating system of something it must handle. While the processor is handling the interrupts, it must inform the device that his request has been recognized, so that it stops sending the interrupt request signals. In addition, saving the registers so that the interrupted process can be restored in the future increases the delay in time of the interrupt receive. These are 4 steps in which ISR handles interrupts. They are as following. Let's know together. Step 1. When an interrupt occurs, let's assume processor is executing a ISO instruction and program counter will point to the next instruction I+1. Step 2. When an interrupt occurs, the program value is stored on the process stack and the program counter is loaded with the address of interrupt service routine. Step 3. Once the interrupt service routine is completed, the address of the process stack is popped and placed back in the program counter. Step 4. Now it executes the resume for I+1th line. There are 2 types of interrupts, which are as following. Let's know together. The 2 major types of interrupts are software interrupt and hardware interrupt. The hardware interrupt are divided to 2 types of interrupts, maskable interrupt and non-maskable interrupt. Software interrupts. The interrupt signal generated from internal devices and software programs need to access any system call, then the software interrupts are present. Software interrupt is divided into 2 types. They are as following. First, normal interrupts. The interrupts that are caused by software instructions are called software instructions. Second, exception. It's nothing but an unplanned interruption while executing a program. For example, while executing a program, if we get a value that is divided by 0, it's called an exception. Hardware interrupts. The interrupt signals generated from external devices and I/O devices are made an interrupt to CPU when the instructions are ready. Hardware types. Number 1, maskable interrupt. Number 2, non-maskable interrupt. Maskable interrupt. The hardware interrupts that can be delayed when the highest priority interrupt has occurred to processor. Non-maskable interrupt. The hardware that cannot be delayed and immediately be served by the processor. And thanks for watching.